In the Hellboy remake, David Harbour plays Hellboy himself. David Harbour of Stranger Things fame. And, he is the demon hero who has to fight the forces of evil, right? In every Hellboy movie, isn't that how it goes? I haven't seen the earlier Hellboy movies by Guillermo del Toro. I know I gotta watch those. This is the first Hellboy movie I've seen. But I think that's pretty much how it always goes, right? Hellboy's a good guy, and he has to fight, supernatural bad guys. And in this movie, the supernatural bad guy or bad lady is Nimue, played by Mila Jovovich. And I feel bad again because in earlier videos I've made related to Hellboy, I think I've called her Nimue, so I've been saying her name wrong this whole time. In the movie, they pronounce it as Nimue, or Nimue, or whatever, so that's how you're supposed to say it. So, good and evil, and then, there's other characters who are his supporting, cast, like Daniel Day Kim. I forget the character's name. He plays a supporting character who's like a were-tiger dude. There's Psychic Girl. I forget her name, but I'll put her, I'll edit it in, behind me, the actress and the character she plays. And, those are the good guys, and his father, too. His father, who is a supporting character as well. The guy who raised Hellboy, not his biological father. And then there's Mila Jovovich. And then there's other people like Baba Yaga, a famous, witch from mythology who's a supporting character too. And other, creatures like that. And Nimue wants to take over the world and remake it in her image. And she wants to use Hellboy as, a companion to make that happen. But will he succumb to Nimue's, wishes? Or will he rise to the challenge and be, the hero and defeat her? And you pretty much can probably already tell how this is going to go without me having to tell anything more. I don't want to give spoilers anyway. So how is the movie? Hellboy is getting savaged by critics right now. I personally think it's a decent movie. I think the reason why a lot of them... there are two reasons why I think a lot of people who don't like Hellboy don't like it. I think they feel like for it to be a remake of the other two Hellboy movies, which I think a lot of people liked, they felt like there was no need to remake the Hellboy franchise. It's like the other two movies were good enough as they were. Why, change something or add to it and do something different? So I think this movie is paying for that. It's like, Guillermo del Toro's Hellboys, the ones with Ron Perlman, they were fine. What do we need this one for if it's going to be, kind of the same thing as those? I think it's kind of that, that's one of the reasons. Because I don't think this movie is that different from those other movies. So I think a lot of people, in terms of plot structure and even the way it looks, special effects wise and the action, so people are like, what was the need for this? And number two, I think these days, because, sci-fi action movies have gotten so big and, so spectacular and over the top, a movie like Hellboy isn't really that special anymore. There's nothing really to make this movie stand out, like to seem different or unique anymore. Back in the Guillermo del Toro days, there were a lot of sci-fi movies coming out back then, but a movie like Hellboy, with all this hell imagery and supernatural stuff and the hero is a demon, that was still kind of sort of unique with a different kind of spin. These days, I don't know, that's not really that big of a deal anymore because there's so much stuff on Netflix and SyFy Channel and just in feature film movies and even on network TV and streaming TV. It's like, again, Hellboy seems like just another movie. And quality-wise, even though I thought it was good, it was like a decent, it's kind of comparable to what you would see like on the SyFy Channel or on Netflix, right? So, Hellboy just doesn't really seem that special, and the quality of it, while decent to me and I think a lot of other sci-fi fans, it's not really like seeming like, an awesome theatrical experience compared to, what level movies are at before nowadays and what you can see, on streaming or on TV pretty easily now. So I don't think there's much to make Hellboy seem special anymore. And I think it's paying, the price for being a reboot of a franchise that people thought was fine the way that it was. That said, I thought this was a decent, sci-fi action movie or supernatural action movie. The performances were all good. I thought David Harbour was good. I did not see the Ron Perlman movies, so I can't say how he compares to the Ron Perlman Hellboy. I'm sure Ron Perlman's Hellboy was great because people love that iteration of the character and his take on it. I've heard people talk about the Hellboy movies and the way he did them, Perlman. So I'm sure he was spectacular. Mila Jovovich is good as the villain, Nimue. I don't know much to say except, good job. She was a convincing villainess. I do think that the ending, though, was very predictable. Like, I pretty much knew the way that the Hellboy Nimue, final confrontation goes down. In the last final act, the last final act of violence, that is telegraphed at the beginning of the movie. so that you know how this movie ends. I don't know if it was just me because I see movies like this all the time. Maybe it's because I knew that because of that, but I think anybody could have figured it out. And I think that's actually the third reason I just thought of as the reason why this movie might have been harmed. The third act, I felt the final confrontation, the final fight was predictable. And I think that the screenwriters maybe should have thought of something different that we wouldn't expect to really help make this movie stand out. That said, it's not a bad movie at all, not to me. I think it's okay. It's just, it's the kind of movie where you feel like you've seen this before, multiple times. And I think that is, a reason why Hellboy is getting, sent to hell, so to speak, by the critics. But, the movie's out this weekend, so see it, go to the theater, and see what you think. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.